Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune reading. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Something I wanted to do actually is birthday month reading. Happy birthday, February birthday month people. This is going to be people, if you're going by zodiac signs, we've got Aquarians, we've got Pisceans, and I actually have amethyst runes that we can do these readings with because that's the birthstone of February, and I don't have any other runes that are the birthstones of the month. So this is something I really wanted to get done, even though it's late in the month. The thing about this is basically rune readings aren't like where they're going to tell you basically pretty much any form of divination. It doesn't measure time in, calendars and clocks. The way that these things measure time is in events. This will happen, then this, then this, then this. And so in general, rune readings are basically a snapshot of a situation. They will give you a little bit ahead, but they're not going to basically tell you, oh, and in your future, so many years, this blah, 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 blah. But that having been said, when I do a full Futhark reading for the entire Futhark, all of the stones in the set, it goes about a year. So whenever you watch this during this year, this will be your spread for the year. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a basic 5 that starts the readings. This is basically the central issue right now, where you're starting from, what led up to it, what is going to help, and what isn't going to help. And the antidote to what isn't going to help is always what is going to help, and that makes it nice and neat. Okay, so where you're at now, it looks like you're in a situation where you're being very, very patient. This is Ivaz, this is the rune of the yew tree. It has to do with patience and slow growth. And right now, you're sort of in a state of waiting for things to happen. Things are progressing, but it's just sort of, and I think all of us are pretty much in that situation at this point because of the pandemic and sort of waiting for vaccines, waiting for things to be taken care of. What's led up to this is we have Fehu reversed. Fehu's the wealth rune. It's basically cattle. It's the wealth that you tend. And it's reversed. So what we're seeing here is possibly a lot of you are worried about not having enough wealth at the moment, but also possibly a lot of you are developing a better self-esteem. This when it's reversed, it tends to do with confidence and inner worth. So you're sort of dealing with that, but I'm sort of slightly more inclined of maybe we're worried about our worth, we're worried about our wealth, and it's sort of leading up to, well, we're just going to wait. We're going to just hang in there and just let time carry us forward. What's helping you at this point is you're keeping yourself busy. This is Tivaz, it's Tyr's rune, Tyr's the warrior god. It's pick up and go, but it's also having to do with duties and responsibilities. So you are actually keeping yourself pretty busy during this time, and this is actually helping you with the waiting part of it. What doesn't help is we have Gebo. Gebo's the rune of the gift. It's the exchange. Sometimes it's interpersonal one-on-one relationships. So maybe a lot of you are sort of missing that, and goodness knows we all are. But basically sort of like I had things to do, I had plans, and I can't get to them, and this is bothering me, and this is going to drag me down. If that starts to be the case, just throw yourself back into what you've been keeping yourself busy with, and that will actually carry you forward really well. Now, the next step on the path is shown here by Yira. Yira means year. It has to do with the harvest and also time, and is basically just, number one, you're going to start to see results of your efforts, which is nice also for carrying you forward, but also things that are timed and things that are going on a timed basis, and you're sort of seeing things season themselves out. So seasons will pass, and it's actually moving forward, and you can actually see things that are moving forward. I'm going to add a line. Very nice. For your next step on the path, and what's going to help and what's not going to help along that way. Ooh, I accidentally pulled a rune that is extra. I'm going to put that back for now. What's going to help at the point where you are sort of like, okay, you're seeing the results of your efforts, and you're sort of seeing the seasonal element of the passage of time. You're seeing things, time passing, which is good. What's going to help here is actually, this is going to make you feel pretty good. This is Vunyo, this is the Joy rune, probably very much leading from what you were working on here that was helping to keep you busy. I'm actually going to throw down a couple more runes. That's probably the one I actually had out before, so that's cool. Yeah, okay, that works very well. And there's another unusual Sovilo, but that's fine. The reason that you're feeling really good, what's helping the fact that you're feeling really good is that you've actually developed quite a lot of stability from what you've been working on. We have Urus. This is the Aurochs. It's the wild ox. It has to do with strength, stability, health. You've been doing pretty good. You've got a lot of things towards the efforts of health and stability and strength. And this is actually helping you keep your spirits up, which is really, really good. What doesn't help at this point, where the passage of time and things, you feel that you've been losing touch with family, for one thing. This is Berkana. It's reversed. Berkana has to do with birth. It's a yin identity kind of thing, the yin side of things, but it is reversed. I'm reading it more along the lines of family. You do miss your family because obviously, we're all separated because of the pandemic. That's really bothering you because, as you can see here with Sovilo, the sun, you get a lot of your source energy from your family, and that's something that you are actually missing. So if that's something that is starting to drag you down, just bring yourself back up to where you're actually, you've been working on things, keeping yourself busy, and this has actually given you some good strength and stability, and actually been feeding your happiness, which is good. Yes, we miss our families. We all miss our families. Your next step on the path line here is shown here by Ansus. Ansus is the rune of communication and manifestation. I'm seeing more along the lines of communication in this case. Let's throw down another step on the runes. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay. So in this step, we're sort of more communicative, and we're actually opening up to more people in terms of communicating with people, which is great. What helps is actually that you're able to do this in your own home. This is the age of Zoom, and also, even as simple as phoning people, emails, things like that. You're safe. You're able to communicate, but still be safe. And it's become more comfortable at this point as we progress along the steps of the year. So this is actually. This helps. This is good. You're able to stay safe and keep communication, but it's important to get that communication happening because we're social animals, even if we're introverts like me. What doesn't help is Isa. Isa is the rune of ice, standstill, sometimes clarity, but it's in the lower line here, and I'm just basically going to say it's going to feel like things aren't moving at this point still. Like there are things that are still going to feel sort of stuck as far as the progression of things. If that starts to drag you down along with, missing your family, missing the things that you wanted to do, having to put all your plans on hold, just bring yourself back up here. You've been doing a lot of work. It's been keeping you busy. You've been strong and healthy. It's keeping your spirits up, and you're able to be home, but also communicate with your friends and family. So things are pretty okay. It's not great. There's no, at least, I'm whatever. And it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be, at least you can fall back on all of that. I'm going to throw down a few more runes for the next step on the path. Okay. So after the step of, I should have thrown that one down to begin with. After the step of, okay, we're renewing communication. Communication is becoming more good. You are actually going to experience around about this point a breakthrough. This is Dagas. It's the rune of the breakthrough of the day. It's the rune of revelations, and here we go, and all that. What helps here is, based on the communication that you've reestablished here, you are actually feeling very much more in connection with your place in humanity. It's also, I would suggest, without really wanting to put money on it, that at this point in the year, you will be, if you're up for vaccination, you will be able to get your vaccination, or all the people that you're hoping that will be getting vaccinations will have been vaccinated, and it's good, and you can actually feel more part of humanity at this point, which is great. either way, something at this point will be a bit of a breakthrough. You will feel, okay, great, I can resume being part of humanity, which is wonderful. You can meet each other with joy. It's wonderful. What doesn't help, though, is we have Thurisaz, and Thurisaz here is reversed. Thurisaz is the challenge rune. It's always a difficult challenge, but when it's reversed, it's especially difficult. There is still a sense of an insurmountable challenge to things. Maybe if, let's say, you got the vaccination, but still loads and loads and loads of people still haven't, and it's still not safe to go out without a mask to protect other people. That's still, it's still frustrating. You still have this challenge that you're dealing with. Bring yourself back to, okay, well, we are moving forward. I mean, right back to what the issue is right now, which is being patient with the progression and slow growth of things. But you are able to more or less rejoin your place in humanity at this point. So you're feeling a little better. And this will lead you to the next step, which is Raido. Raido's the riding rune. It's the journey rune. It is upright, but honestly, when I pulled it out and I put it down, it was put down reversed. So I'm going to actually read it both ways. Raido is the journey rune. It looks like a journey has been resumed. If it's being read reversed, which it was when I put it down initially, but upside down, that would indicate the end of a journey as well. So let's add some more runes to get further in the Futhark. And this is not the complete Futhark yet, so this is not even going to be a year from now that this all is happening, which is great. Goodness knows we're all waiting for that kind of thing. But this is your birthday year reading. I mean, your birthday month reading for the year. Okay, what do we have? All right, how many more runes do we have in here? Ooh, 3 more, perfect. I will hang on to those. What we have here for the next step is you're going to feel a lot more supported when you step back out, resuming your journey. This is Algi's. It's the rune of the moose. Basically, it's the elk. It's upright. So you're going to feel very much more supported and protected as you go out. So I'm really thinking that either a vaccine or the vaccination of everybody around you will be definitely a factor. Or maybe things will just have improved. What helps here is, this is Pertho, is the rune of the lot box. It has to do with luck and fate and basically the revelation of something that's a surprise, but it was something that was already there. It's sort of like you're reopening the present of your life at this point, and it's like, oh boy, look at all these things that are mine now that I can enjoy and experience. And that's great. That's really exciting. That's going to carry you forward. What isn't going to carry you forward? We have Lagos reversed. Lagos is the lake. It has to do with all the watery stuff like emotion and intuition and heart. And when it's reversed, I do see it often referring to dreams. I'm wondering if at this point your dreams are going to still be bringing you back to the difficult times. And if that's the case, just bring yourself back to, no, everything's new, everything's revealing itself again. And I'm sort of returning to my life feeling more protected than I have been. So this is really, really good. So your next step on the path line is represented here by Avaz. Avaz is a horse rune. It has to do with spirit, but also movement. It is reversed. You're not going to feel the need to be running around so much at this point, even though you've been released from being held back. It's good. This is sort of, you're turning inward, you're getting more in touch with your inner spirituality and not feeling the need to run around as much. I mean, here we've just had a huge, pandemic, and it's effectively no longer the terrible, frightening thing that it was once you're vaccinated or once you feel safe. However, our habits are not going to be the same. We're not going to be zipping off around the world. Some of you might be, but I don't know. What's going to help is actually playing into this very much. This is Kaunaz. It's reversed. Kaunaz is fire, so it has to do with something small that expands. It's reversed, so it has to do with something that's expansive but tapering to a point. It has to do with focus. So, but also just minimizing your focus, just reducing your expanded, limiting. I'm not saying limit your options, but your options are limited, and this actually helps in terms of getting back into things. What doesn't help here is, interestingly, this is Nauthi's. Nauthi's reversed. It's the need rune. It is reversed, so it's especially tend your needs. However, as an opposite to focus, it's not saying, it's basically saying what you don't want to do is tend. You don't want to over edit everything and really, really restrict yourself, really constrain yourself on things. Try not to do that and try not to worry about that being the case. If that's being the case, just look at what you're focusing on. Just, okay, I'm turning inward. I'm having more of a spiritual sense of things. And also I'm just basically limiting my focus. Maybe I'm not going to go travel around the world. I'm going to sort of see what's around in my own province or state or wherever you are instead, and just sort of limit my exposure still while we're recovering from all of this. And what the last rune in your path, which is bringing us to the end of your year from now, we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is Ing's rune. Ing is basically Frey, the fertility god. It has to do with yang energy, so active creation. You're really going to have the chance at this point, the opportunity to really more actively create what your life is going to be from this point on. And that's something you didn't have way back here, which is really kind of neat. It's a thing you can look forward to. And that is your reading for the year, all you February birthday people. Have a lovely, lovely year. Bye.